Alright, welcome back, Smashins here. So time for my review of the 2025 Mexico City ePrix. The first ePrix of 2025 this calendar year. Of course, first race of the season was about a month ago in Sao Paulo, but unfortunately having it the same weekend as the final F1 race of the season, probably not the best idea. So, getting started with your review. So, Porsche front row lockout, Verline on pole, DaCosta P2 alongside him. It was the first time that Porsche have ever had a front row lockout in Formula E, and not a surprise that it comes at Mexico, a track that they've basically dominated basically since midway through season Gen 2. So, Buemi and Cassidy both qualified in the duels, but both of their lap times in the group stages were deleted for some kind of technical issue. So, second ePrix in a row that Jaguar have big technical problems in the ePrix. And again, that's something that they're going to want to sort out if they want to make a championship challenge this year. So Verline keeps his lead turn one. Both Envisions have absolutely awful starts. You can see them basically at the start. Everyone gets away, and then you can see the two Envisions right at the back. We do have a bit of contact on that opening lap as Tictum was spun around in the stadium section. Not really his fault. Basically, Maloney sent it up the inside, very aggressive, and then that kind of went into Hughes, and then Hughes, I think, was the one who actually ended up tapping Tictum and spinning him around. I think the car went into some kind of anti-stall because Tictum was basically running almost a lap down for the rest of the race. But yeah, that was really the only incident on the first lap. Lap 2, Roland gets past Vern at P3 for turn 1. And then lap 5, I note not a ton of overtaking going on. Overtaking very sparse, or scarce I should say, when the cars were not in attack mode this afternoon. Lap 6, a bunch of the midfielders take attack mode. Really heavy defense from Nick DeVries on Barnard as well. And then there was a bit of contact as well between Bird and Mortara. I think at the turn 4 hairpin. Bird basically just kind of getting a bit sideways going into the back of Mortara, and he would eventually receive a 5-second penalty for that move. Yeah, so really heavy defending by DeVries on Barnard, like I said. Lap 9, no change of position in the top 8 yet, so basically almost 10 laps in the race. And outside of that move between Roland on Byrne, not a single change of position. So very different race compared to Sao Paulo. Lap 10, Muller takes his attack mode, so he was the first driver in the top 8 to take it, and he drops down to 10th. And I wrote, even though he was making progress with attack mode, I noted that it didn't seem to be quite as powerful as in Sao Paulo, where, for instance, Nick Cassidy went from 10th to first in like the matter of a lap. That you didn't really see that kind of progression up the field with the attack mode today. Lap 11, Muller and DeVries both overtake Bird at the turn 8 chicane. Lap 12, Muller up to 6, so again, able to make some progress with the attack mode. Dennis takes attack mode, keeps position, so really good team play there by Andretti. Muller basically backing everyone off so that when Dennis took his attack mode, he would not lose position. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, lap 14, Dennis overtakes Vern at turn 8, and then a whole bunch of cars end up overtaking DaCosta. Lap 14, because DaCosta, again, similar to what the Andretti's had done, Porsche tried to use the real gunner driver to basically back up the pack and hold everyone back. So Verline took his attack mode, and DaCosta basically was trying to hold everyone back. Didn't work so well. It massively compromised his exit to the peloton at the final corner, and he ended up basically being overtaken by Roland, Dennis, and Vern. So not a great result there by DaCosta, but I think given how things would later turn out, I don't think he would be too upset at the time. Dennis, as well, lap 16, overtakes Verline at the stadium section for the lead of the race. Unfortunately, really shoddy camera work there, so we didn't actually get to see the overtake live. We basically just saw the end result of Dennis being in front of Verline. Let's see, DaCosta, and then following lap, a couple laps later, DaCosta in attack mode, so he was one of the last of the leaders to take his first attack mode. he then takes the lead of the race in the stadium section. So again, like I said before, even though he basically got overtaken by 3 cars at one corner, didn't hurt him too much as he was eventually leading the race. Lap 20, Verline takes his final attack mode from 5th and overtakes Evans as well the following lap, lap 21. Lap 22, Verline overtakes Muller, and this is where Bird's 5-second penalty was announced. At this point, with basically 14 laps left in the race, top 4 cars all Porsche power cars. So it's just showing how strong they were at this track, and there was quite a big gap between the 4th place car Muller and 5th place car Roland as well. So just kind of highlighting how dominant they were at this point. But things would not stay like that for long. So DaCosta overtakes Dennis for P1, takes the lead again after Dennis had retook it with attack mode. Verline then overtakes Dennis, and Dennis really struggling despite the fact that he was in attack mode. So I don't know if it was some kind of thermal degradation, which is or where the basically it's where the battery degrades because again it's getting too hot. So I'm not sure if that was the issue. Weather in Mexico City was pretty cool, usually much cooler than we've seen in past years, so I'm not sure if that was the issue. Lap 28, really holding position at the front with the top 4, and this is where things really ended up changing. So Beckman basically Degrassi decides to go for a very aggressive move, overtaking the German rookie. Kind of makes a bit of a mess of it. Basically breaks, makes contact with Beckman, breaks his suspension and his front wing as well. So Beckman stopped on basically the outside of that corner, turn 12, and this brought out the safety car. And this, like I said, contact with Degrassi, and there was some kind of thing that came up at the bottom with the virtual race engineer, which said that Degrassi would not be able to use all of his attack modes because he hadn't taken any of them yet at this point. And given how few laps there were, basically, yeah. So expect him to get a penalty at some point after the race, which will, drop him further down the order. But safety car comes in, and Roland right away, still in attack mode. So he basically took attack mode right before the safety car came out. So he was in 5th place, but still had quite a bit of attack mode as the safety car was very, very quick, only a lap or 2. So then lap 31 on that restart overtakes Dennis, Verline, and overtakes DaCosta as well, all basically in the span of 4 to 5 corners. So very, very impressive by Roland, getting, being very decisive with his overtakes and overtaking the cars in front at the first opportunity for basically all 3 cars, or 3 of the 4 cars that were in front of him. So lap 31, like I said, and this is, unfortunately, this is where we got second safety car because Mitch Evans, he basically made contact with Muller, I believe, behind the safety car or on the safety car restart. And basically coming out of the chicane, going through, I think turns 6, 7, I believe, 7, 8, basically the chicane on the back straight. Muller basically was quite slow exiting the corner, probably just like the usual shenanigans with chicanes, where the drivers will just be a little bit more backed up, especially on the restarts and starts. And I think Evans just kind of got a bit caught out by that and went over the top of the rear tire and broke his suspension. So really unfortunate for Evans, your race winner from Sao Paulo. Definitely not how he wanted his second race of the season to end. So again, very, very fast safety car. Safety car comes in lap 32. And a bit of a surprise, no added laps, despite the fact I think we had 3 to 4 laps behind the safety car. They decided not to add any to that total race distance, which, if anything, really helped Roland because I think he was a little bit down on energy compared to the 2 Porsches behind him. But without the cars being in attack mode, very, very hard for the Porsches to really overtake him anywhere. So Roland takes the checkered flag, wins his first race of the season, 4th race of his career. So taking a look at your race result, joining Roland on the podium were the 2 Porsches, DaCosta ahead of Verline, 4th Dennis, 5th Vern, 6th Gunther, 7th Van Dorn, 8th De Vries, 9th Muller, 10th Barnard, your final points position. Outside the points, you had Hughes, Frines, Buemi, Cassidy, Nato, Degrassi, Mortara, Maloney, Tictum, and Bird, with your 2 DNFs being Evans and Beckman. Like I said before, assuming Degrassi gets a penalty, so let's see, where was he? He finished 16th, so wouldn't be surprised if he basically drops down to last out of all the classified finishers there. Now, taking a look at your championship standings, you have a new championship leader after the Mexico City ePrix, and that is Antonio Felix da Costa. Hasn't won either of the first two races, but 2 second places, very solid points, and a massive improvement compared to the start of his season in season 10 and in season 9. Second in the championship, still Evans, 25 points, tied with Rowland in third. Fourth, Verline, 21 points, really helped by those 6 points from pole position that he got. Fifth, Barnard on 16, 6, 7th and 8th. Bird, DeVries, and Vern all on 12 points, as well as Dennis also on 12. Not sure who has the higher position on Countback though, but just put it based on the order on my spreadsheet. Lap 10th in the championship, Mortar, 10 points. 11th, Gunther with 8. 11th, Van Dorn with 7. 13th, Boemi with 6 points. 14th, Tickton with 4. 15th, Muller with 2. And then Nato, Maloney, Cassidy, Beckman, Hughes, Degrassi, and Fines yet to score any points. I think with that result, pretty sure Da Costa, or at least pretty sure Porsche, go top of the driver of the team's championship with that result as well. So there you go. Second race of the season, bit of an unpredictable one. Racing a little bit more difficult, a little bit more tricky than in Sao Paulo, but definitely a big improvement, I think, in terms of just race ability and ability to overtake compared to season 9 and season 10, which is exactly what we wanted to see. Not, an absolutely crazy race by Formula E standards, but still some decent overtaking and a couple decent surprises as well. So there you go. There's my review of the 2025 Mexico City ePrix. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.